Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60andMe. Thanks so much for being here this morning. I hope you're doing great. Welcome to, just a new fresh start, a new day. I'm having my cup of tea this morning. I've got my puka green matcha tea. I've kind of gone off green tea for a bit lately, but I'm back today with green tea and it tastes good. It's a lovely fresh drink. It's a bit warm today. The weather's been gorgeous this summer. I don't know when you're watching this, but right now it's middle of July and just beautiful. So anyway, I hope that you're doing great. I wanted to mention before I start that our sponsor for today's show is International Living. Now, International Living is a company that really is very unique. What they're doing is helping people to make decisions about retiring overseas. So if you're thinking of moving to Panama, Costa Rica, Ecuador, or these places that are, so different, but yet less expensive and affordable, and, but you have lots of questions, International Living puts together a great series of reports on how it's really like living there. They've got people on the ground doing the research, and I think International Living is a very unique company and offers, I think, very objective and supportive advice. So if you go out to internationalliving.com and then /60andme, you can sign up to receive one of their free reports. So it's International Living. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. So here we are. I've got to have a cup of tea. My throat is dry this morning. Just a second. I have to have a sip. That's better. Yeah, I think there's allergies around. There's so much vegetation. The weather's been like, just a perfect hothouse conditions. But anyway, I have a question for you. Have you considered starting your own business? Have you started becoming an entrepreneur? Now, I did this 5 years ago when I was 65, and it of course has changed my life, and I would recommend it for anyone who's got a good idea, has a need for a more steady income in retirement, and also has a passion for doing something, giving back, sharing their knowledge, sharing their expertise. And there's just so much positivity now around this. There's a lot of interesting conversations we cover on our Retire Different website, which is about retirement and how to plan for it in a positive way. And the conversation recently has been about the need to think about an income in your retirement rather than just focusing on what your savings are. What you've saved is great, and that's always the big question, how much have you saved for retirement? But you have to, you can't spend your savings, it'll run out, and you have to earn money either from your investments or your savings, and consider how you're going to reinforce or amplify your income. So focus on income. Becoming an entrepreneur, working for yourself, is a perfect solution for older people, and especially for older women. Some of the numbers are really quite dramatic because a lot of people are doing this. So there's a group called the Kaufman Foundation. In this article by Hilary Henderson, it's all listed, so you can go back and check out the details. But this group, Kaufman Foundation, says that there's a definite rise in entrepreneurs between the age of 55 and 64, 5 plus. Increase in 15% in 1997 to 26% in 2015. So maybe it's necessity is the mother of invention. We have to work back for those reasons I mentioned. I need more income. Or maybe it's just that there are more of us now because people are living longer and wanting to get into the business world for themselves. There's a larger number of boomers. But women entrepreneurs over the age of 65 climbed by 42% from 2007 to 2012. Those are the statistics that we have available. But that's huge. I mean, that's more women are starting their own businesses than any other demographic, women over 65. So it gives us freedom. Boomers get flexibility and freedom by being able to start their own business and making some money from it. Now, even if it's only $500 a month or $1,000 a month, that's very, very helpful if you're on a budget of Social Security or a pension, or you're wanting to use your savings for other things. So I'm not talking about starting, 500-person companies here that you may not want to, or you might want to. And a lot of people have, but, maybe something that's just you and one other person, or just you, and do something that you love to do. So many, many advantages. Now, we've got a strong network, usually, of people even if we didn't work in, intense corporate environment, you've made friends, you've made connections over the years. And these people can be so helpful in connecting a dot for you. If you want to start a business, for example, and you don't know how to build a website, well, you surely have someone in your network, maybe in your children, if they're adult employees in other companies, know people who can help you with a website, or they can perhaps help. And by the way, Google and YouTube can teach you anything. Honestly, there's nothing that you cannot learn on Google or YouTube, or just about everything. And of course, there's sites like Udemy, Coursera, Lynda, L-Y-N-D-A, which are sites where you can learn how to build a website. You can learn how to fine-tune a skill that you might have that you left maybe 5 or 6 years ago. You can go back and take more study. So women have contacts, we have skills, we have wisdom, we have perspective, and also we're good organizers. I mean, even if you haven't had a family and children, you know what it is to organize a household. Even if you've been living by yourself recently for some years, you know how to juggle everything. These are great skills in starting a business. So this is important. Take advantage of this growing trend. There are resources out there to help you. And also don't, if you can, involve your retirement funds, the savings that we talked about, because those are the things that you might need for the future. Now, in my case, I broke that rule because I used all the money that I have ever had in my life to start 60andMe, and that's pretty much how it's gone the whole 5 years. I don't have any savings money in retirement, so this is my job, this is what I do, and I love it. But the point here is, if you can avoid digging into your retirement savings, do that. That's a super important guidance rule. Network. Take any opportunity to network. You'd be surprised. I mean, in just going to the local theater or going to a meetup group or joining a women's group. I'm actually going to join our local international women's group. I got an invitation from a lady who I met on a bus there. I mean, how's that for a coincidence, right? Just happened to chat with her and she sent me the invitation. So I think that's going to be fun for me to meet other women, and they're doing similar things. They're starting new businesses. They're leveraging this consultancy business. If you've got some expertise, I mean, if you, for example, worked in accounting all your life and you liked it, but you didn't like the working routine, you're now out of it, you can still do accounting consultancy. Some people have very specialist experience, and you can be so valuable to a company. Work 10 hours a week and you can earn a reasonable amount of money. Also, you might just want to have something that that you love to do. Now, make sure your idea is sellable. This is a good point. I know if you're an artist or you're doing some kind of creative work, this can be more challenging because there's a budget issue right now. People don't have as much money in many cases, and they don't want to invest in things that they consider non-essential, like a painting or some artistic work. But people are into handicrafts, like unique things. So they want things that are made by hand. And you've got groups like Etsy and eBay, for example, and Amazon. But Etsy, particularly Etsy.com, where you can open a little shop front, take good pictures of your creations, whether it's necklaces or jewelry or rings or soap or clothing, whatever. You can actually make a reasonable amount of money from that. So that's another thing to consider. So, but make sure that people want to buy what you're going to sell, and then do your research. Research the internet. It's an amazing resource for getting information on what people are selling, who your competitors are. Do a business plan. I mean, actually do a business plan, even if it's a sketched one, of who your competitors are, what your key differentiators are, what you're offering that's unique, and maybe run a trial. If you're making something chocolate or you're making scarves or you're making, I don't know, some kind of special paper product, just do a little trial. Get some of your friends to try it out and see whether it's really something that will sell. There's all kinds of places you can sell your things. I mentioned Etsy, but you can go to festivals or shows or go to a local cafe and sell your stuff, your art or your products there. There's an openness to this now, I think, because customers are looking for unique. They're looking for unusual. And I guess having confidence to do this might be one of your issues. Hillary just says, look, fake it till you make it. Just fake it till you make it. Everybody else is doing this. No one knows how their business is going to turn out, what's going to happen, but you just fake it till you make it and you'll be okay. And maybe that's kind of not very technical or sound advice, but at some point you've just got to go for it. And we have one of our women in our Patreon community, which, by the way, if you haven't checked out our Patreon community, it is so much fun. We have about 700 people there now. They join all the live shows that we do. We're learning about them as individuals, what they do as for work. I do special videos just for that group. My travel excursions, I share really just with the Patreon group because they're in a small group, 700 people, and we can be friends, and it's really, really lovely. So if you don't like the Facebook interface, you want to just be private, what we ask is that you give a small donation to 60andMe. $3 a month is great, or whatever you can afford, and you can then join the Patreon world and get special access to information. But anyway, there's one woman there, Jacqueline, who has a shop in France, and she just opened it. It's a kind of a boutique-y shop, and she's just getting so much support from the women in our community. We all wish we could go and visit her, and her shop looks great. But it's that kind of thing that having a network of women around you can help you get started. So if you still have doubts and you really know you want to do it, but you can't really bring yourself to make those steps, find a mentor. Find a coach, even if it's someone that you have to pay some money for. Go ahead and do it so that you've got the guidance and that little bit of extra support behind you. So that's ways for an older woman to become an entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur. If you've got any suggestions, please let us know. Have you ever considered being an entrepreneur and starting a business? Tell us more. For now, have a really good day, everybody. Go out and do something wonderful for yourself and consider being an entrepreneur. Tell us your story. Have a wonderful day. Take good care. Bye-bye.